In this video I will show you how to level an image, and the reason we do that is we want to get rid of dust in the black areas and white areas. So for example, if you see the hair here in the original image, this is actually supposed to be completely black, and this is what we want to achieve. What you need to watch out for when doing this is you need to make sure you don't over level, which can reduce or pretty much destroy the quality of an image. Before you begin, you need to duplicate the layer, the background layer, because we want to leave the raw layer intact. So you duplicate the layer. Next, you want to make sure that the image mode is in grayscale. If it isn't, you can click on there. If it asks you to flatten image, say no, etc, etc. And finally, what you can use is under adjustments, the curves tool. You can also use the levels, but I prefer the curves tool just because that's what I'm more used to. Now what you need to notice here in the curves tool is you have these sort of peaks that show you the density of colors, I guess you can call it. And what you're supposed to do when leveling is you're simply going to move those sliders at the bottom to be slightly ahead of the edges. And as you can see, when I move the slider on the right, the black becomes more solid. If I do it too much, I start losing quality. So you want to keep it exactly where you have the least noise in the blacks, but not so much that you start losing detail. So usually a good area is right ahead of the peak. Now these rows here are very bright, so you don't really need to level too much on the whites, but it's generally the same idea. You don't want to over level to lose detail, but you want to level just enough to get rid of any gray specks in the image. Additionally, what you can do is you need to get rid of any stuff in the white areas that aren't supposed to be there, and you can just use a brush for that. If you press Alt key and drag the right mouse button, you can adjust the size of the brush. Alt key and left click, you can change the color. X key, you can switch the colors, and holding down the Shift key forces the cursor to go in one direction. So basically what I'm going to do is I'll just draw a white line along the edge to get rid of the rip marks. And one other thing you may notice is that even though I leveled the blacks, there is still some dust here. There's two things you could do. You could either level it as much so that there is no more dust, or you could go over it with the burn tool, using burn tool. And the way you do that is use the wand tool first to select the black areas, then use the burn tool set at exporter 40 and midtones to just get rid of the dust. That's about it.